All right, we are off on a weekend trip to Victoria, and I will show you what that's like on a motorcycle. So this is Horseshoe Bay that we're at right now. We just finished a quick breakfast and coffee. It's a great place to just stop and take a break while you're waiting for the ferry anyways. Gorgeous, nice little place to stroll. You got scenery, you got mountain, you got water, and you got the little village here that you can grab some food and coffee and everything. Now we're gonna head back to the our bikes on the ferry, and we're gonna head over to Vancouver Island. We're gonna first get off Nanaimo, which is probably the second biggest city on Vancouver Island, and then we'll head down to Ladysmith, grab lunch, and continue down the route down to Victoria. And we'll show that to you now. Yeah, look at them. So we're just loading our motorcycles onto the ferry, and then we're going to take the ferry over to Victoria, Nanaimo and then Victoria. So we're going to show you the tourist side of Victoria. This motovlog is not so much a motovlog. I'm not going to show too much of the roads and stuff, but like my other videos, one of the best things, even if you're not planning to do some major rides, it's awesome bringing your motorbike over on the ferry because motorbikes have priority. We come on first, so you don't really need reservations. You just come on at least 20 minutes before, and then you get rolled on. And the best thing is you get front of the line. That means you're ahead of all of the cars already. So that's a huge benefit. If you're a rider and you're thinking of visiting Vancouver Island, definitely bring your motorbike. So when you park your bike on the ferry, one tip and one requirement is to pick up those orange blocks and put them underneath your bike on the opposite side of the kickstand. This helps to just stabilize the bike as the ferry goes through some choppy waters. Oh, look at that. This is such a great hack. It's a top box with a hole cut into it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a toolbox. I looked at some of the friggin' carriers were like $250, $300. I said, you know, it's a nice dog, but let's get real.
Oh, it's not even a top box. It's just a toolbox.
It's just a toolbox.
You screw it to the bottom.
And yeah, there are a couple of straps through there, and there's also an anchor plate that I've put two bolts through.
we just stopped in at Chemainus, and it's a neat little stop. It's kind of good because it's halfway between Nanaimo and Victoria. It is a small town. It's got cute little shops there if you want to just take a break. You want a good lunch spot. Normally I like to stop at Ladysmith, and there's this cafe called Oyster Bay Cafe, and it's right on the water. Good menu, so that could be a good stop too. That's about 40 minutes out of Nanaimo. After taking a lunch break at Chemainus, we were back on the highway, the Coast Highway, and unfortunately there's some construction up at the Malahat stretch, which is just before Victoria. Now fortunately there's a ferry that I looked on Google Maps. It's called the Mill Bay Brentwood Bay Ferry, and it was perfect timing. We got there 5 minutes to spare, long line of cars waiting, but being motorcycles we got priority, so we just rolled on. And it was great. It's a nice little ferry ride, 15-20 minutes, not much at all. And we're on the other side. We're gonna ride down south towards Victoria, and we avoided all that traffic. So another reason to bring your motorcycle onto Vancouver Island.
I would feel bad for this.
Okay, so there's a few things to do in Victoria. Of course, you've got the Victoria downtown area. Best place to stay if you want. We're on Government Street right now, and that's one of the prime tourist areas. Lots of shops, restaurants, pubs, that kind of stuff. If you can find a hotel there, then it's great because there's lots of stuff to walk around in. Down the street is the Parliament Building and the Victoria Inner Harbour, which also has the Empress Hotel, and that's a great area. Just kill some time. I think if you position yourself here, then you're good for 1 or 2 days. Up the street from Government is also Chinatown, and their Chinatown here is quite lively. I actually like Victoria's Chinatown more than Government Street. Government Street is a little bit more touristy, and the shops aren't as diverse and eclectic. The Chinatown is very cool. Lots of different kinds of shops, clothes, retail, restaurants, cafes, that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can easily kill a whole day or 2 days here. Do that, and then if you got some other days, check out other areas outside of Victoria. Of course, Butcher Garden is very popular if you're into that, the garden and everything. That you'll need a drive. Fisherman's Wharf is a nice little community, not too far of a drive from downtown. It's basically a collection of houseboats in colorful colors, and some of them actually have been transformed into kiosks, food kiosks, so you can get like pizzas and seafood shops and stuff like there. So that's nice to stroll around in. Yeah, and if you're into craft breweries, then Victoria has a good scene for that. The main area where they're all found is just north of downtown, so there's lots of little craft breweries. One of my favorite craft brews is Phillips Brewing, and they are actually found right here in Victoria, so check that out if you like beer and the craft brewery scene. Now let's show you the places that we spent most of our time in this weekend. So yeah, Victoria's Chinatown is actually Canada's oldest Chinatown, and it's been very well kept. There's development there that gentrified the place, and it's a very tourist friendly area too, with lots of diversity and ethnicity, not just Chinese shops anymore. There's lots of all different types of shops, so that's probably my favorite in this whole area. So we're exploring Chinatown. We found some little alleys here. This is Dragon Alley, and it's surprising because from the front you don't notice it, but you walk through this tunnel and then it opens up to these cute little quaint little shops. So what's interesting about this Dragon's Alley is that it's designed in a similar format to Chinese settlements, where behind a big commercial facade you walk into back, and then there's a labyrinth of small little shops. This originally, back in the early days of Victoria, was home to horse huts and brothels and all kinds of stuff, and then was redeveloped to a bit of this kind of small shop and artist district. So I think what they've done well here in their Chinatown is they've really been able to diversify but keep a bit of that Chinese heritage. There's still Chinese shops here and stuff like that, but then you've also got a nice diversity. Coffee shops, there's a great French patisserie that I bought a croissant from, which is really good. And then there's of course these alleys which has cool little shops and artisans shops and stuff like that, so it's good to just venture around and browse. There's also Fantan Alley, which is famous for being the narrowest street in Canada, so we're gonna check that out next. This is like a whole internal courtyard that we just discovered walking through the little alleys, and that's what I love about their Chinatown here, is that you never know what you find. Just stroll through yeah, we're like in this alley and we just go through, and there's this whole courtyard with restaurants and pubs and stuff like that. Let me see what this place is called. Okay, so that's the shops and the courtyard map. Market Square, that's what this is. So this is all part of Market Square here. These are the facades, but if you walk behind, you'll find that courtyard, and it's at the intersection of Pandora and Store Street. So we just stumbled across Johnson Bridge, which is this structure here. Very interesting if you're into architecture and engineering. But on the other side is Songhi Park, which is a nice stroll. Over here you'll see that they have water taxis, very cute with the flags and the yellow cabbie, and there's kayaking and stuff to do there. But the water taxis here is like Vancouver's, where you can go from one side to the other. It's a nice way to explore the waterfront. They would also go over to the inner harbor where the Parliament building and the Empress Hotel is. Now the Empress Hotel is of course famous. It's named after Queen Victoria. That's why it's called the Empress Hotel. It's the oldest hotel in Victoria. I think it was built back in 1908. Beautiful chateau type of style architecture, grand. It's a great example of the grand hotels back in the CP Rail days. If you're into gin, they actually distilled their own gin here called Empress Gin, fittingly. And it's interesting, depending on what you mix with that gin, it could change color. Now, if you're not into gin and not into alcohol, you can still book their high tea, and that's something great to do here. Other things you can do in the inner harbor when you're there is there's whale watching tours from the harbor, the Parliament building grounds. There's great grass areas that you can just chill and just watch people go by. So it's a great place to just kill an afternoon if you want to take it easy. So there's many shops here on Government Street. This is one of the very cool shops, Maker. There's a few in all around BC, 7 actually they said, and Vancouver has one, but on Government Street it's pretty cool, and the concept is very interesting. They're basically showcasing different small producers of giftware and stuff like that. Think of Etsy but in a brick and mortar store. That's the concept, and there's many different varieties, so great for browsing. We bought something. Check it out when you're here. So we were walking on Government Street and we saw this place called Chocolate Favors, and there's a huge line out the door, so we were obviously curious. We had to try it, and it's a chocolate dipped cone place. Lots of different flavors you can choose from. Person likes it, so we're gonna try it. And it was
Really good. The chocolate's really thick.
it's pretty good, she says. Thick dipped chocolate. So we are now off to get our motorbikes and gonna ride over to Fisherman's Wharf to check out what that's about. Okay, so this is Fisherman's Wharf. It's kind of cool. It's like a collection of just food, mostly food, I guess. There are some beers that you can have here. It is nice if you're looking for a place to eat and just drink. It's right by the marina, so you'll see boats and stuff. You can also walk around and check out some of the very interesting designs for boathouses. So it's a good place to just stop for a meal and walk around and kill some time. Hey, so that was our Victoria trip and I enjoyed it thoroughly. If you're visiting Vancouver and thinking of going to Vancouver Island, check out Victoria, and if you're a rider, make sure you bring your motorcycle. It's so many advantages. Victoria is a very interesting city. It's an old city and there's much more things to do than what I covered. The ones that I covered is more you're right in downtown of Victoria. But I hope you liked that video, and if you are following me, I've got lots more travel moto vlogs, travel videos, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And if you've been to Victoria and you got other secrets and other tips to share with others, please do so. Put in the comments. So we're way in line here at Chocolate Flavors called Chocolate Favors. Yeah, place called Chocolate Favors.